Of the Lucky Charms box, going around with his crock of gold saying things like, "Oh, big Gara, to be sure," and it's not really an image that we particularly are fond of here in Ireland. Now, there is 3 different images. As I said, you have the guy here in green, he's a bit of a trickster at the end of the rainbow. You have the shoemaker who makes shoes to the fairy folk, and you also have the sinister side of the leprechaun, as seen in The Simpsons, where he sits on Ralph Wiggum's shoulder and tells him to burn things. Now, the leprechaun story became really famous in the 1950s when Walt Disney came to Ireland. He actually came here looking for a leprechaun, and that's not me doing a cutesy bootsy bit to go, "Oh, isn't that nice?" No, Walt Disney actually came to Ireland looking for a leprechaun to bring home with him. He couldn't find any, but instead he found the original story, and he brought that with him instead and made the great 1959 film Darby O'Gill and the Little People, which was incredibly accurate to the original story. The leprechauns all wore brown, they had red hats, and they were shoemakers. So, this story brought the leprechaun to a new level, and everyone got to know him, and he popped up in lots of different media, and then even then became part of a horror franchise called Leprechaun, which actually starred Jennifer Aniston. It was her very first film, and both such great titles like Leprechaun in Space, Leprechaun in the Hood, Leprechaun back in the Hood. Again, we're not very proud. But these 3 different ideas of Leprechaun, they really took off outside of Ireland. While at home, we focused on the likes of the Banshee, the fairy folk, the great warriors like Fionn McCool and Cú Chulainn, and stories like the Children of Lear and the Salmon of Knowledge. And today, we're going to bring you around to get you up to speed on all these great myths and legends, as well as the Leprechaun. So you guys ready to start moving forward? Okay, we need a bit more enthusiasm when we get it.
Yes!
Yes!
All right.
Perfect. Keep it at that level. So, I'll bring you over here to our map, because it's very important, because as we leave here, we're entering the world of the fairies. We're entering a magical world for you all to stay close together. Because our fairies, well, I'll tell you a little about them later on. First, we're going to go through our tunnel. Now, tunnels feature a lot in myths and legends. For example, the Leprechaun stories, Through the Looking Glass, Alice in Wonderland, and then in modern examples like Coraline, or Pan's Labyrinth, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. And our magic tunnel is going to take you from your normal size and bring you up to the size of a giant. And that's because we're going to go under the world-famous Giant's Causeway. Has anyone here actually visited the Giant's Causeway?
Yes, I have.
I have.
Perfect.
I also have.
Well, there's 2 stories of how the Giant's Causeway was formed. There is the far-fetched, silly story, and then there's the truth. The truth is, a great giant called Fionn McCool was challenged to a fight by a Scottish giant called Benandonner. And he picked up rocks and lobbed them into the sea so he could cross over for the fight. The silly, far-fetched story involves volcanoes erupting thousands of years ago, the lava cooling and forming these odd rock shapes. But I say to you guys, you all know some pretty tall people, right? Yeah, how many times in Ireland have you seen a mountain shoot fire out of the top of it? None. That's how many. Therefore, volcanoes lie, giants truth. So, when we get to the end of the Giant's Causeway, it's going to get a bit dark. I want you just to push forward until you can feel a crack. And when you push through, you'll end up in the Giant's Room, where you get to experience what it's like to be a leprechaun. Because see, leprechauns were recorded as being 1/3 the size of a normal human being, so about this high. And humans were 1/3 the size of giants. So through the power of mathematics, we've worked out, spending night and day, the exact scale needed for you guys to experience what it's like to be a leprechaun. So in here, you can do all the things that they say not to do in the normal museum, where they normally say, don't touch that, don't touch this. We say, climb on this, have fun on this, take pictures on this. The only thing we ask is don't fall and die. That's it. Everything else is okay.
You gotta be careful.
So I'll leave you guys in there for about 10 minutes, and I'll come meet you and bring you on the rest of your journey. So, keep an open mind, keep open eyes, believe in magic, and let us go explore the world of leprechauns. Come on, guys.